a detail for the story that a lot of people don't realize. I didn't realize that myself. And I'll just put some verses here in conjunction with each other. And one of the folks who was involved in Absalom's rebellion was a man by the name of Ahitophel. 2 Samuel 15:12. And Absalom sent for Ahitophel, the Gileonite, David's counselor, from his city, even from Gilo, while he offered sacrifices, and the conspiracy was strong, for the people increased continually with Absalom. Here is Ahitophel, who was a faithful counselor of David, a wise man, and he decides to actually join the rebellion and the conspiracy of Absalom. Absalom sends for him. Obviously, he felt that Ahitophel had certain sympathies with him, and Ahitophel joins the rebellion of Absalom. What would get into this man's mind to do so? Now, before we get into what will get into his mind, I want to first of all, examine the fact that his placing and his position and what had happened is what led to this particular decision. Because keep in mind, Ahitophel knew that David was the anointed of God. He understood that. Absalom was in a rebellion, and yet he left David, the rightful king ordained by God, and he decided to join Absalom. What would incite him to do that? Well, the Bible actually tells us, and like I said, this is a little detail that's not known too much, but here is the wisdom of Ahitophel, first of all. 2 Samuel 16:23. It says, and the counsel of Ahitophel, which he counseled in those days, was as if a man had inquired at the oracle of God. So was all the counsel of Ahitophel, both with David and with Absalom. So basically and simply here it tells us this man was so wise, it was like inquiring of God, or it was like asking a prophet. The counsel that he gives, or that he gave, was so insightful, was so wise, that it was as asking of the oracle of God. And here is this wise man. What would compel him to betray David, to leave the rightful David, which actually was a very foolish thing to do at the end of the day, he ended up dying. But anyway, not getting into that. What would incite him to join the rebellion of Absalom? Well, it's interesting because from the genealogy, we learn some detail about this man. Here it is, 2 Samuel 23, verse 34. It says, Elphelet, the son of Ahsabi, the son of Maakathite, Eliam, the son of Ahitophel, the Gileonite. Now, this is a list of names that probably means nothing to most people here today, I understand. But the last part I highlighted here was it tells us that Eliam was the son of Ahitophel, the Gileonite. And you might be thinking, okay, well, what's the point of that? And it becomes relevant when you put it next to this verse that we read earlier, talking about Bathsheba. It says, and David sent and inquired after the woman, and one said, is not this Bathsheba, the daughter of Eliam, the wife of Uriah the Hittite? So here's the thing. I want us to put these details together, brothers and sisters. Bathsheba was the daughter of Eliam. Eliam was the son of Ahitophel, David's counselor, David's wise counselor. So in other words, Bathsheba was the granddaughter of Ahitophel. Uriah the Hittite was his grandson-in-law. And so you can understand now that when the opportunity came for a turning against David, Ahitophel was incensed and aggrieved and upset that David had defiled his granddaughter and that he had caused the death of Uriah the Hittite, her husband. And he had that in his heart, that when the opportunity came, when he saw someone rise up against David, he actually joined the rebellion of Absalom against David because he wanted to do something back to David, vengeance. You see, God had forgiven David, but Ahitophel had not forgiven David. And he was motivated by a desire to remedy that hurt that was done to him, to his family, to his granddaughter, and so he turned against David. That's an interesting detail that helps us understand a little bit of this really dramatic story that was all happening, all in-house, all in the palace of the king's son, the king's counselor. Bathsheba happened to be the granddaughter of one of David's foremost counselors. That's how outrageous this sin even becomes more so now. And so no wonder he joined the rebellion of Absalom. Today, so many people don't realize and know this particular detail about Ahitophel, and that this is really what lay at the root of him joining the rebellion of Absalom. And in like manner, today, there are so many people who join a particular cause because of a personal grievance that they might have heard one speaker say that they didn't like, or one ministry, or something that did not go down according to their fancy or according to their ideas. And so in their heart, they feel, no, this is not right. And as soon as a cause appears that opposes what they didn't like, or what that hurt them, or what upset them, or what crossed their path, or what crossed their favorite, indulgence, or whatever it is, they join that cause because of an underlying hurt or an underlying matter that they had against that particular person, and they join that. It's complicated. Some of these things are complicated, and they're not easily discerned on the surface. That's why I'm sounding this word of warning.